Hi, it's Coach Pete. Thanks for coming back for the weekly coaching huddle. You know what? In Arizona this time of year, some of the most talented baseball players come to town and they do this thing called spring training, and it's always amazed me why some of the most talented athletes in the world have to come to town and practice the fundamentals. They're so good. They could just go out there. They've been playing baseball. They can throw a ball, catch, run. They've been doing it since they were little kids in Little League. But no, deliberate practice is important. But as business professionals, we don't give ourselves permission to do that. So we're going to do a little spring training here at the Family Business Performance Center for the next 4 weeks. We're going to work on some fundamentals. And today we're going to work on listening. Are you listening, Karen?
I am listening good.
Good. I was just checking with her. Okay, so here it is real quick. First of all, stay present and aware of the importance of listening to somebody. So, you know, this is a muscle you got to build. You have to pay attention. You got to stay present. Think of it as a gift you're giving to people. So if there are people in your lives, on your business team and your family that are important to you, think of this listening as a gift that you give to them. Be mindful in your thoughts. Suspend judgment. So when people are listening, look, this has never happened with Karen and I, but sometimes when she's speaking, I could be thinking of other things, or I'm letting it kind of filter through my interpretations. Try to suspend all of that and just listen to what people are saying. You know, if you have your own ideas, put them on hold. Let people finish. That's a really important thing to do. Another thing to do is to mirror back. So when somebody says something to you, you could repeat it back to them. You could, say this is what you've heard. I know Karen says to me many times, did you hear what I just said? Or it'll be like a test. She'll be like, what did I just say? And I'll be like, this, but you could mirror it back. And then what she did was just turned on her phone again, but it's all good. Acknowledge their views as legitimate. So even when somebody says something to you and you don't necessarily agree with, their thinking behind that, you can still acknowledge their view as legitimate. So a couple ways I do that is I can say, I see how upset that has you, or I see how upset that made you. That doesn't necessarily mean that I agree with how somebody got upset, but I can say, genuinely, I see how that upset you. Or I could say, I'm sorry that it had that impact on you. Those are ways to acknowledge what the other person's saying. Look, here's a couple other things. Whatever you do, don't pretend. I've tried that a time or two. It doesn't work well. Really give me your undivided attention. Don't multitask. That's a challenge that some of us have at times. I just said to Karen earlier today, I said, I need your undivided attention. And she said, okay. And then she started opening the mail at work today. And I said, is that your idea of undivided attention? And she set that down. Don't pretend. Get rid of the distraction. Don't multitask. I have a lot of leaders and people, I coach people, and they'll say that my boss, I can hear them typing, I see them doing things when we're in meetings. Don't do that. You know what? You know you're on the right track in listening when you see people actually being heard. I don't know if you've ever had the impression or had the experience of being heard. You're talking to somebody, and you can kind of see that, they get it. And so you'll know you're on track when people are feeling heard, or when they're engaged, or when it leads to other questions and understanding. So you're probably, listening's not working when all of that's not happening. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go out and practice this week, and I want you to stretch yourself. I want you to pick a couple of people that sometimes you have difficulty listening to, and challenge yourself to really give them this gift of listening. I just wanted to see if she was listening. So maybe you and I will work on that this week. Does that sound okay?
Sure.
Do you ever have trouble listening to me, or are you ever challenged by that?
Never.
Good answer. Me too. So go out and practice this week. Listen, I hope you come back. This month, next week, we're going to be talking about giving feedback and receiving feedback. In 2 weeks, we're going to talk about Giving a responsible complaint, that's another form of communication, and we'll make sure not ask Karen to participate in that session and see what happens there. And how to make clear requests. We're going to do that later in the month. And some couple that will remain nameless is having their 30th anniversary in a couple weeks. So that could make for a good show. Thanks for being here. Please tell your friends if you know anybody that has a family business. Appreciate you being here. Send us your questions and we will see you next week. How much time did we take this time? Do you know? A couple of minutes? That was a question I shouldn't have asked. We'll see you back here next week. Thank you so much. Practice listening. See you later.